All right, Facebook, how you doing? Good evening. This is Frantic Romantic, and here we are with Hanging with the Friends. Here with
Hey.
Junipero, all the way from TJ, one of our favorite cities. We have our buddies here from Junipero. Can you? Yeah, we're here. We're live. Right on.
All right.
Cool. Can you guys tell us a little bit about yourselves, guys?
Well, we are a dream pop band from Tijuana, and this is our second year playing. Well, right now we're in pause because of the situation, but we've been playing since 2018, and right now we're releasing our EP at last, and I could say that what we make is dreamy, or for someone that wants to be pondering about life and just chill for a bit.
Definitely. Yeah, I get a real sense of like vulnerability in your guys' music. There's like a lush array of melody that just comes off with the guitars and with the ambience. It's beautiful. It really is. It's really moving.
Yeah, when I was listening to your stuff, it really had a likeness of a band that I really love, and one of my all-time favorite albums. Have you heard of Beach House?
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
love Beach House.
I love Beach House, and when I heard your sound, I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is So I mean, kudos to you. I mean, it's just really amazing tracks.
Thank you. And actually, Beach House, I think, is the reason that got us together, because when I met Joan, I think he was the one that said like, oh, do you know a band that's called Beach House? I'm like, of course I do know them. I like their songs. And he was like, oh man, well, I know there's something going on. And before meeting me, he tried to do a project, a dream pop project, and it wasn't until he met me that he started like something more solid, to build something solid, and that was the beginning of all. Rest is history.
Nice.
Well, I'm super glad that you guys both had that mutual because you guys make some amazing music. I know when we shared the stage at Festiarte, when you guys were playing with Linda, I was looking at your guys' pedal boards and I was like, cool, awesome.
Oh, that's all Joan.
I'm a Strymon guy. Yeah, I'm a Strymon guy myself. So vi los pedales que estabas usando y dije, a huevo, Strymon. Están chidos, ¿verdad? Yeah, sí. Awesome.
Thank you.
Joan is the gearhead in the project. He's the mastermind behind all the pedals. The pedal to the metal, right there.
Yeah, that's awesome. I noticed that you guys play often, right? I mean, outside of these kind of circumstances, you guys were hitting the road often. You guys were playing all over the place.
Yeah, last year was pretty fun because it was we got the chance to play different places and meet amazing people, and we met you guys as well. And yeah, it's been really awesome. This year, the few shows that we got to play, I met as well like really cool musicians, and kind of sad that I got to meet the other ones that we were going to play with. But everyone has been amazing in this road that we've been taking, this music journey.
That's very cool. I noticed that a lot of the dates, you guys were doing double duty, right? Because you're backing up Linda Allen with a lot of her live shows when she's doing like a full band. At least from when I was following you guys, I saw you guys would be opening up as Junipero, and then I guess doing a double duty with Linda for some of those shows.
Yeah. Yes, it's a double duty, or sometimes there were days that we would play in the morning and then again at night, or have like double shows. I play with another band called La Beat Cantina.
La Beat Cantina, yeah, right.
Yeah, and there was this weekend where I played with Linda, then La Beat Cantina, Linda, and then a beat cantina, and then later, like at the day, would be with Junipero, like in Pomona. It was like a really long day because I only slept like 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
But
Wow.
it was awesome. It was really awesome, and I really enjoyed that weekend. And we met some really cool people over there at Pomona.
Pomona.
Amazing musicians.
Man, that's like some Guns N' Roses stuff there, playing all day. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, you know, because you're like running and you just want to eat, but I don't know, at the same time when you're like minutes before playing, you get a rush, and I don't know, it's really exciting. Like you forget everything before that.
That's awesome.
For everybody joining us, we're here with Junipero. They are a Tijuana-based band that we had the pleasure of meeting and playing a show with when we were down there. For everybody tuning in the audience, feel free to ask any questions. We are always hungry for questions, and you know, we'll answer anything that you write in. So yeah, thanks for joining us tonight, and there you go.
Hi.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I just got a quick question. Where do you how do you come up with the material you guys produce? Is it from like more of a somber? Is it from like happiness? I mean, because you guys have a certain sound.
Well, the sound, Joan can answer that one. I can answer the lyric part and the melodies. Joan can answer that one.
Usually we based our I think the most of our ideas, let's say a small part of something that either Janelle or me kind of wrote or came up with a melody, and start to build up from just a little small part. We usually start with the chorus of the song. That's like the main thing. And then we try to build all around that, around the chorus per se. So we try to say if the song says, I don't know, for example, if the song says I'm depressed, we usually try to make that also the songs or the instrumentation also say that I'm depressed.
It supports it. I get that. Yeah, that makes sense. It's all like in a mood, basically, right? Like, that's cool.
Yeah, it's respecting what the song is saying, even though it's not saying anything, but we're like, it's interpreters.
You're channeling it, right.
Yeah, and we're channeling the mood. And usually what I do is take from experiences and stories, real stories, real life stories. Usually my experiences or from others that I've encountered in my life, and I put them there and make them part of the song.
Sing about what you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool. That's really cool.
Awesome.
I like how the music's really dreamlike. You know, when I listen to it, I could almost close my eyes and fall into the music. You know, it's really beautiful.
Oh, that's nice.
It's very textured. It's very multi-dimensional. Like he said, I get visuals too. I totally can just chill out to that, you know?
I feel like all this time describing this music that we should maybe let some of the viewers have a listen.
Sure.
Yeah. Now let's pull something up. Cool.
Let's pop it on. Yeah. One
right.
sec, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it was very good. Love those guitar tones. Love those guitar tones.
Yeah, guitar tones.
Right.
And the audience is just to give you some extra bonus points here. The audience is really loving it. Mondo Branca, definitely hear the Beach House influence. Jeff Pedraza, damn, this is awesome. Mondo Branca again, that was awesome in all caps. So yes, our audience.
I'm glad that they
is
like
loving your
it.
stuff.
Yeah.
Very, very great.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. That song was really, I love doing. That song was, we were going to play at a festival, and if I'm correct, that was the song that we made for that day. or New Beginnings. I don't know if Angel can help me remembering that.
I think it was beginnings for that particular show.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it was really awesome. That day was as well kind of we were tired that day, and I don't know how we pulled it off, but that song wasn't planned, and it just popped up in our minds that day, and we made it. And I don't know, I'm glad that it came to be, and that we finished that song, you know. I thought that it was gonna stay there, but no, we finished it.
I feel like sometimes you have to be really tired. You have to be in a state where you could just kind of allow the music to just happen, right? Like it just kind of comes through you. The energy just kind of comes through you, and that's cool. That's awesome.
It's no coincidence that, you know, I think for many of us, it's like the best ideas come out at maybe like 2 or 3 in the morning, you know?
Yes.
Right.
You're laying in bed trying to sleep, and then you got those tunes going through your head. Start tapping
your fingers, right.
Yeah, it's when your mind starts overthinking, and I think it just starts flowing, you know, effortlessly. And I think those are the best ones.
Cool.
Do you guys do the majority of your lyrics in English or Spanish?
The first ones the majority are in English, but lately we've been doing in Spanish. We actually have the last 2 songs that we've made have been in Spanish, and the upcoming ones will be more in Spanish.
Oh, cool.
And a bit in English, and some in French. We'll try to.
Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to mix those languages in between, like one song in this language and the other one this language, or
and
maybe
all have it part of one album.
I'm sorry?
And all have it part of one album.
Yes.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it is.
Very original. I love that.
Yeah, let's see how it goes, because, you know, we have the idea, and we're I don't know. We hope it does. We hope we do get to do it how we want to, you know, because I don't know, a lot can happen, but I do hope it comes to be.
So being also, you know, right there along the border, you know, you have America and Mexico. Is there anything that what's the word I'm looking for? How do you decide what language you want to write it in?
Oh.
Is it a decision, or is it just something that starts coming naturally? Like you hear a song and you just start speaking one language and go with it?
That's a good question. Naturally, it comes out in English. I'm used to making music in English, and because, you know, the border, I've listened to a lot of music from over there. Right. And I think it's a bit more, it has influenced me more. I do listen to music here from Mexico, and I love it, you know, the classics, Los Tia Durga, Los Jose,
oh yeah,
you know,
the masters, right,
yeah,
right.
All that music.
right, yeah,
yes. And yeah, English is usually the first one, and lately I have been practicing with my Spanish. I do it, but not as much as I would like to do it, but I've been practicing on that.
You know, it's funny, like I always get asked that, because I do a lot of the writing, not all the writing, but I do a good amount of lyric writing, and my family will always ask me, ¿Cuándo vas a hacer una canción en español? Or, you know, ¿qué onda? ¿Qué pasó? You know, and I tell them it's like, I don't try to force anything. I just kind of do what's natural, and, you know, that's just kind of where it's at right now. Yeah. I feel like I would be really challenged. I'm not saying I'm never going to do it. I've done little pieces here and there, but it's definitely challenging. It's more like I try to let the song tell me what it wants to do too, you know? Yeah,
that's the best way, because I don't know, if you try to like push it, you know, like rush it to finish a song, and I don't know, you have to do it how it comes out naturally.
Yeah,
right.
What I believe.
And it takes time, you know. What's really cool about your tracks that I was listening to is I always have this concept in my head that like you can always tell when someone's trying to write lyrics, and you can always tell when someone is just like basically writing the lyrics that the song was meant to have. And I feel like with your music, those are the lyrics that those songs were meant to have, like you really tapped into the music and it came out, very, very beautiful songs.
Thank you. Yeah. We respect the song
process,
what it's trying to say. So
yeah.
And we love honesty, Joan and I think we're pretty honest about things, and maybe that influence as well.
I feel like that's what people connect with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
People people connect with honesty. They can tell when you're being real, they can tell when you're being fake, and they pick up on that reality that musicians are human beings, and all that, and
Sure,
definitely gives them a connection. Yeah, sure.
I had a question for you. So dream pop is pretty new to me. Actually, Ruben was sort of the one that introduced the genre to me. And there's still a lot for me to learn about dream pop. But I was just curious with the two of you, like what was your introduction to dream pop, and what was like what about that genre really spoke to you? Like what drew your interest into dream pop specifically?
I think it's really hard to pinpoint which band it was, because I knew about the genre like years later, and maybe it could be Wild Nothing.
Oh, I love
the first
Wild Nothing.
band,
Right.
because I didn't used to listen to the albums. Beach House, I would only listen to 3 songs, and it was like until like 4 years ago that I listened to an album, a full album of them. But Wild Nothing was the first one that I remember, and I love it that it brings me, I don't know, it evokes memories or nostalgia,
Mm-hmm.
and it puts you in a dream state, and that's what I like. But it's funny that you ask about like the music about dream pop. I usually tend not to listen a lot of dream pop. It's like only a few bands, like Little Dragon, that has a few dreamy vibes.
I love Little Dragon. Sorry.
I think Mike loves,
It's amazing. I like Ritual Unions by them, the album. It's really cool.
I'm more of a what is it, Nabuma Rubber Band? I'm more of a Nabuma Rubber Band guy.
What's that?
I think that was like their 4th album.
Oh, really? I haven't heard
Go,
all
right,
of them.
or something like that.
Yeah, it has that song "Let Go" and some other ones on there. Anyways, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
No, it's good for you to share that, because I haven't listened to that one. I've only listened to Ritual Union and their new one, Lover Chanting, that I love.
That was great too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good song, and I tend not to listen a lot to that genre. Like, for example, when someone told us that you remind me of My Bloody Valentine or Cocteau Twins, and it's funny because I've never heard of them before Junipero. I was like, I have to listen to them, and it's crazy. I love their music, but I don't know. I don't like to be unconsciously making something similar.
Right.
And I don't know. I like to listen to a bit of everything, and not to like stay within one genre.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think genres can be tricky anyways. I mean, we've evolved in this, like, music has so many classifications now. It's so hard to really pinpoint, and I feel like we kind of just throw out genres here and there and all these different titles. So much of these music, especially when you think like dream pop, dream pop is a fairly newer term as far as genres, but that sound, the definitely dream indie sound has been around for a while. Classified in that way.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Cockatoo Twins album. I've only heard the one album. I think it was made in 1990. I forget the name of it, but just front to back, it's probably one of my favorite albums. Zeke here is a big My Bloody Valentine
I love
fan.
that. I love it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love their album, Loveless. Really beautiful, beautiful album.
Yeah.
I was blown away when I saw that it was a shoegaze band. I thought it was another kind of music. I was ashamed of myself, and I was blown away with "Shallow."
Yeah.
Shallow, that song. It was the first one, and it blew my mind. I was like, oh, man, like, why did I pause? I don't know, like for 6 years or 8 years ago, someone told me about the band. I was like, no, sounds like
Like a
sounds
hardcore
like an
band or
emo
something.
band. Yeah,
Right, yeah.
but man, I was so wrong, and I was like just sad that I didn't hear them earlier. But it's really cool that it wasn't late. Better late than never. So
Better
Yeah,
late than
of
never,
course.
right? Yeah, I was telling you that I was showing people, and they were like, "Man, this is good." And I was like, "I'm such a moron for not showing more people, like your guys' stuff." Like my niece, I've shown her a lot of things, and she's usually like, "Yeah, it's all right." She's like, she grew up in LA, so she's
a
everybody
tough
has
critic.
a band. She is. I mean, she grew up in LA, so she was always around new bands. And then I didn't even really show her. She just saw it on our stories, and she was reacting, and I was like, "Go figure, right? Yeah,
Well, with that said, I kind of want to pop on. I kind of
New
want to pop on
beginnings.
another track if you guys
New
are down.
beginnings, huh?
Let's
New
do it.
beginnings."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys like to? Yeah, why not?
Absolutely. Yeah, let's jump into New Beginnings. And that's not me just saying that.
Love that solo at the end. It's almost like it melodically. It's mesmerizing, kind of like a Cure song. You know how like their tempos, it stays in your head.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Angel's a big fan of The Cure. Yeah,
Awesome.
and a country man.
Yeah.
Country. I know. I saw you said country and a few other things. Kind of what specifically with like country?
Well, I'm growing with all kinds of music in my house. From norteño, who still is one of my favorite genres, and also when I was a kid, I will always listen to the Beatles. So
Yeah.
Nice.
that was another like super influence. But when I turned like 16 or 18, I kind of like discovered new bands, new groups. I also
You rebelled.
Yeah, I was into the singer-songwriter stuffs. So that's when I met like when I get really deep into like Neil Young, Bob Dylan.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen. And I think from 18 to now my 30s, I think one of my top heroes is probably Tom Petty. So
Yeah.
Cool.
that's I have music that I like to. I have like different kinds of music. I have music that I like to listen to when I'm like alone or in my car or something. And when I like to play with another bands, it's another kind of music. So, but when I almost listen the majority of the music when I'm driving. So if the music drives well, I think it's I enjoyed it. But probably my I don't know. It's something about the process of songwriting. What do you have to say? How do you say it? It's kind of I think it's very personal, and I really admire that. So yeah, probably my favorite. My heroes are, I think, is Tom Petty and Bruce Springsteen at this point.
Nice.
Big influence.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, they have a very good sense of like honesty in their music. There's like, I don't know, some genuineness to it, but at the same time, it's you know what I mean. It's very memorable. It's a lot of things.
Yeah. I think of the music that I heard is more on that side of on the singer songwriter stuff, and also going back to the conversation we were having a few minutes ago. I also in let's say in the instrumental part, the first time I heard, I think I don't know if it was Slow Dive or My Bloody Valentine. But I was like young. I don't know, probably 15 years ago, probably. And when I heard Slow Dive and My Bloody Valentine, I knew that I want to make that kind of music, guitar related.
Yeah.
But on the writing song stuff, I'm really a big fan of Petty and Springsteen.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool revelation to have at like 15 or 15 years ago, because when you're young, you're kind of everywhere, so that's a real profound introspective kind of way of looking at like something and knowing what you want. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So people never get that,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
no.
when I was 15, just the bands I was listening to were, I would never listen to them today. So props to you to finding it early. Yeah, that's great.
Limp Bizkit.
Did it all for the
Let's see, Creed. I was a big Creed guy.
God.
Three Doors Down. That was another one. Three Doors Down.
They were good.
Lifehouse. You guys remember
Well, that's a
Lifehouse?
throwback.
Lifehouse, yeah. I remember their one song that was on the radio.
Careful, Mac. They're gonna hang up, dude. They're gonna hang up.
That's right. I hate to admit that like my first concert was Green Day.
Wow.
It was, and this was in 1995, so a lot different than the Green Day now.
Right? Dookie Green Day was very
like
different.
when I hear
Green
people
Day.
like singing like American Idiot and all their new stuff, and like
there's pre 2004 and
Green
post
Day live.
2004.
Right.
I hear a lot of in your music. I hear a lot of Depeche Mode. That's really cool. Like there's a vibe in
there's
frantic
definitely a
romantic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
There's definitely that new
compliment.
wave. Thank you. Yeah.
There's a live performance in Berlin. I forgot this song, which one it was. Enjoy the Silence, and they have like a really cool visual on the back, like contortionist, doing their thing. I don't know if you've seen it, but I think that's my favorite from them. Watching it live. It's really enjoyable.
Right.
The sound, it's really good.
Right, and you got the visual art going on too. That's very cool.
Yes.
I'd totally be into a Depeche Mode cover. Wink, wink, guys.
Hey,
Yeah,
me too.
I talked about
Yeah.
that. I talked about a couple songs, right? Yeah.
So
I definitely grew up with that genre.
Yeah.
one thing that really sticks out to me, your vocals in that song are beautiful. Actually, one of the great things about when we did that show in Tijuana was that, you, Linda, and I believe her sister, Itzel?
Itzel.
Yeah, you guys are all such beautiful vocalists.
Yeah.
Where do you draw your inspiration from when doing the vocals for some of these songs?
That's a good question.
Big influences that
I
you put
think
into your voice.
I also love either the Beatles or I almost say Beach House, the Beach Boys.
Beach Boys, right? Harmonies.
Yeah.
And I think,
Right.
before I even start this project, I'm a big fan of harmonies. So I try to, it's almost like a different instrument, like another instrument.
Exactly, it is.
Yeah, so I like to incorporate that, and also I think what I like talking about Junipero, what I like about Janelle's voice is that it's not that high pitch. So,
right.
So I like that because I have a really high pitched voice, and I'm always doing like I love doing higher harmonies.
Yeah.
I'm also a big fan of Brian Wilson, and I always love that super high harmonies.
Yeah.
I think it works great with the kind of music that we do, because I think instrumentally it's kind of a dense, but it's with our voices. I think it cuts through like a very pleasant way, and it makes you like really more enjoy the pay a little bit more attention to the lyrics also.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen some videos where you've backed up Linda before, and I hear you do a lot of the harmonies. I think that's awesome too, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. I noticed. I see you like really into it, and I'm like, man, because I enjoy doing exactly that, like the high end stuff. I don't do it with Frantic because I get a little embarrassed, but that's where I naturally want to go too. That register right there, you know.
Yeah, I think you have to find like balance between well, I don't know. I don't know if like I don't know much of the technical process, but I think I've learned. I'm self-taught in that. But I don't know. Whenever someone talks to me about or about how I make the harmonies, I think it's a natural thing. You know, talking with if you mentioned Linda earlier ago.
Yeah.
When I used to have my own solo project long time ago, and I was looking for a female voice that has the I have a really high pitch voice, and I was looking for someone who has a higher pitch voice than me. And actually, Linda can sing like his range is like super extreme.
Yeah.
And also one of the things that I like about her is he's more of a natural singer. She just does it, and it's really beautiful. So I'm hanging out with that harmony thing, and I also like that also our voices, Janelle and my voice actually like blend up pretty cool. I think so. That's
very complimentary.
Yeah,
they're very complimentary. Very, very so. Yeah.
So do you guys play in the U.S. much, or have you? Is the majority of your shows in Mexico, or do you get over here quite a bit? What's that been like for you? Obviously, before the whole COVID thing.
I think it was going 50-50. We were going half and half, back and forth. And yeah, this year as well. Like, I think it was 1-1. I don't even remember. But yeah, we were going back and forth. Usually we do that between the US and here.
How far into the States have you guys played?
Pomona, I think that's the farthest we've been yet, Pomona in Mexico was Hidalgo.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, which was it, Joan? Was it?
¿No fue Querétaro?
I don't. It was around, around Mexico City, but like outside.
Yeah, outskirts. Yeah. Right.
Well, we'll have to get you to San Jose.
Right. I know when I first talked
that
to you
would
guys,
be cool.
I told you guys that we can figure something out if you guys can get over here.
I'm actually curious to go over there and play at San Fran. And
Right.
I've never been there, so it would be like really cool, like getting to know San Francisco for the first time and playing there. That would be really nice. And actually, I've in my life, I had never been to Mexico City, and I got to go there because we had our first tour over there, and I've gotten to be to a lot of places because of the music, and that's really cool. The opportunities that have come up with it.
Yeah, that's the dream, right? That's the dream, to be able to travel and do what you love,
Yeah, it's really fun, You meet a lot of people and you eat a lot of amazing food, and a lot of souvenirs for the folks back home.
Yeah. So I had a question. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
We have a question from the audience, and I guess this is for all of us. It's from Pablo Dario Sanchez. And he says, do you guys, are you into Muse or Mogwai? Those two bands. Have you heard of Well, Muse and Mogwai are pretty big, but I guess he wanted to know our interest in those two bands. So
Just gonna go circle here.
Well, I gotta be honest. I do know them, but I don't listen to their music. Yeah, it's not my style, I guess. I tried listening, Magwai with the album that has like a girl with a fishbowl. That's a beautiful cover art, but I couldn't get into it. Couldn't get into that those bands.
Yeah.
I don't know Joan if he's fun to it, if he's into it.
I used to listen to Muse a long time ago, but I don't know. They've changed a little bit, and not on my I don't listen to them very often.
Yeah, I like them. I like them around the Absolution era, basically.
Same. Yeah.
I love Mogwai. It's a lot of people don't like it because it's very repetitive. Their album "Come On, Die Young" is my favorite, and I listen to that nonstop. But I definitely have a mood for it. Personally, I'm not a Muse fan at all.
Well, the interesting thing about Muse is I agree with Ruben. It's sort of like they had I think Absolution was probably their tops, right? And then they kind of doubled down on like writing lyrics about oppression and like revolting and stuff. But like my whole thing is like I never saw any of the band members like protesting anything, So it just felt like, okay, so they're writing songs about revolution, but like I never saw them doing any of that.
You question how genuine that is, right? Just based on like the success they were having. You're like, Yeah.
That's funny.
And what other bands, I'm wondering, I got Depeche Mode. Which other bands like were your influences for you guys?
For me, I know Deftones was a really big one for me. As far as just kind of sonically, you know what I mean? Yeah, like the heavy with the melody and sort of like the rhythms and stuff like that. I love a lot of that. I would say their aggressive stuff's cool, but for me, it's like when they do the real melodic stuff, like Digital Bath or like I don't know. There's this song on one of their newer records called Entomb that I can listen to that shit all day on repeat if I
Yeah.
Seriously, I could, yeah.
I haven't listened to all of their songs, but there was a time where I would have in repeat Sex Tape.
Sex Tape, that's another one. I love that song.
Yeah, I love the guitar there. I love it.
So ambient, right?
Yes, I love that.
Yeah. I
would usually play it. I would take my guitar to school and play that song. It was like, I know, chill.
You know what's the trip about that song though is like I feel like a lot of their songs are very dependent on the band. Like the drummer brings a lot to it. Like I feel like a song like Digital Bath is beautiful, it's great, but without the drum beat, I feel like it falls a little flat,
Right. Well, the guitars aren't very technical on a lot of it.
No, they're not.
It's for me, I think they're like one of the best 2-chord bands ever, And that's by no means that's not all they are, but the way they
we're a 2-chord band.
Right, exactly. I love that style. The way they just hang on those 2 chords, it's beautiful. It's heavy, but it's slow. I just love that mix of.
Hey, if you can do it with 2 chords, the more power to you. That's yeah,
definitely. I mean, look at blues that survived for decades on 3 chords.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Actually, making simple music like that, it's really hard, I guess,
Right,
since you just want to. Yeah.
It's not that hard when you're not that good of a player. Trust me.
I tell people that all the time. Yeah.
I found music like that to be very inspiring for me. Seriously, because I would listen to these bands, and Green Day is a great example. I grew up listening to it. And, I start playing guitar, and I'm not nearly the player that Ruben is or you guys are by any means. but it inspired me to. I was like, well, fuck, if these guys can be writing hits on 3 chords all the time, like 3 power chords, I can be a guitar player. You know this. And then there's bands like Dinosaur Jr., who is one of my favorite bands. They're kind of a
Awesome.
early grunge band from the 80s. And his voice is terrible, and I fucking love it. You know, like my favorite voices ever. And I'm just like, man, you know, if I can fall in love with these guys who sing like shit, like, you know, I might as well sing. Why care what people think, you know? So I actually find that simple music to be very inspiring too. And then I remember when I first started playing too, like my cousin once told me, and he's a musician or was, you know, it don't have to be hard. It's just got to sound good. And that's, you know, really
It's all about style.
It's all about sound. It's all about sounding good, making a good sounding song.
Well, you know, that's what's so interesting about entertainment in general is it really is the X factor of, like, you know, something doesn't have to be complex to make a difference. You know, it's sort of like, you know, you'll see like a beautifully rendered painting on like here, right? And then right here, it's just like a white canvas with like a red dot on it. And for whatever reason, it's like, everybody's like, oh man, look at that red dot, you know, it's so amazing, you know, and it's like, okay, one person spent probably 5 or 10 minutes on this red dot, and the other person spent 100 hours, you know, rendering this beautiful painting.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's all
Minimalism.
Right. Yeah.
Groundbreaking art.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
funny.
Nirvana, right?
They just like dip a tennis ball in some paint, throw it at a wall, and sell it for $100,000.
Right. No, very true. Like Nirvana, right? That's the reason I started playing music. But that was very simple. It was very just straightforward, but intentional at the same time. You know.
Right.
Well, and that's what's, you know, there's something really accessible, right? With like Green Day and Nirvana, there's something really accessible about, you get to hear this music and you feel like this is someone maybe even on just the same level as you making this music. And then you're able to pick up a guitar and learn 3 chords, and then suddenly you're able to play that song.
Right.
And I don't know, I think there's something interesting to that.
There's something to that, definitely. Yeah.
There definitely is. When I used to give guitar lessons, you're talking about being a shitty guitar, and I'm going to say giving lessons. But, you know, one of the first things I would do would be to teach kids 3 chords, you know, because that way, while they're learning the fundamentals and they're doing the finger exercises and all that mundane bullshit that they hate doing, you teach them 3 chords, you could probably teach them a song that they love. And you could give them a sense of accomplishment. You know, you make a kid practice G, C, and D, and you can teach them 10,000 popular songs. You know.
Yeah.
There's definitely some identification with that. You know.
Yep.
And there's actually a video. There's a video of 3 guys, I think.
I've seen that.
comics. Yeah, you've seen it. That
They put Under the
using,
Bridge,
like, the same
Journey.
chords.
Yeah.
All the
If you like-
commercial songs are built on those chords. You know.
Right.
It's amazing, like what you can do with those chords.
It's like a mashup. It's like a long mashup. Like every pause turns into a different song, but they do it really well. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like they bust into Under the Bridge, and they bust into Don't Stop Believing. They bust into all these, you know, these hits. You know, that's cool.
Right. Yeah.
I know we were going over one of our older songs. Brian and I were rehearsing some stuff in my house here in the magical studio. That's my garage. And we got to the end of it. We're playing, and you know, I was like, just so you can remember, it's basically Glycerine. That's the progression. And then we stopped playing our song, and we started playing Glycerine and just singing it out loud. My wife's like, "Hey, that new song you guys wrote, it's pretty catchy." I'm like, "Yeah, well, we didn't write it."
Yeah, right. Yeah. Everybody thought so when Bush did it 3 decades ago too.
Yeah, exactly. Funny.
Well,
and then when you first taught, when I came in and I first learned Victoria Trap, it was
Reverse Teen Spirit. As I
Reverse
told
Teen
you.
Spirit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we call it.
Almost exactly like Teen Spirit, but backwards. You know, that's how you remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, the chord progression backwards. Instead of going from up top down, you're going down and up.
Completely backwards.
I remember when you guys first told me that, that's all I would hear. And I was like, oh man, I got to get that out of my head.
I had a quick question with you guys. I remember talking to you guys probably like at the end of 2018 when we were trying to break into to play in Tijuana. Just a little background. For me, it had always been a dream to play in Mexico. And, you know, I went to Tijuana often. And I would go by music stores or I'd go by clubs and I'd hear music and I'd be like, oh God, someday, you know? And I remember you guys were super cool, super cool about that. I was going to ask you guys, do you guys record your stuff yourselves or do you go with anybody specifically down there?
Oh, well, Joan has a place. That's his studio. That's where we recorded our songs in Heartbreakers. That's the name of his studio.
I'm Petty. That makes sense. Awesome.
Oh, nice.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Nice.
Very cool.
I like it.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
has like a big picture there, a big poster of. He has it right there.
Petty.
Of Tom
Would
Petty.
would that be where he is right now?
There it is. Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
Awesome.
Very cool, Jim.
That's super cool. Super
Yeah.
duper cool.
Everything here.
Wow. That's impressive. I mean, for you guys to get that sound, the clarity on that, to get the sonics, man, bravo. Honestly, man. Yeah.
Sounds
Wow.
great. Very professional.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Oh, sorry, I hate to be that guy, but it looks like we're almost to time.
No.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap. I'd like to give you this opportunity to please tell everybody where they can find your music, to to find more information about you in general. Anything you want to share, go for it. We would love to hear more places to find you.
All right. Well, you can find us at Instagram, here at Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. We're going to premiere another single in a few hours, Friday, like at 12 at midnight. Want to. That's the first song that actually we made together. So I hope you like it.
Awesome.
And yeah, I think those are all the social media that we're using, and SoundCloud.
Are all your pages just under Junipero?
Junipero band.
Junipero.
Yes.
Okay.
Junipero Band.
Yeah.
Yes.
You hear that, everybody? A new single dropping in just a few hours. So please stay up and check it out. Going to be dropping at midnight tonight. And that's going to be on Spotify, you said?
Yes, Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, and all platforms.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, it'll be available everywhere.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Very
Very
cool.
cool.
I got to listen to that already. Thank you guys. That was very awesome. Great song. Everybody's going to love it.
Thank you.
I'm glad you liked it. You're the first
did.
one in the world to have
Well,
listened
thank
wow.
you.
Yeah.
Super honored. Super honored.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, guys.
No,
Thank
thank you
you
guys
guys,
for joining us. It
honestly.
was great talking with you. It was a fun interview.
Very
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
So
Very
nice
fun.
meeting you all.
Thank you.
We
for
got to
having
play
me.
in each other's cities together, man. We got to make it happen.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
As soon as
okay.
this all goes out, the situation, we should do it.
That's the arte.
Yes.
Man.
All right. Hasta luego.
All right.
Have a good night,
Have a
guys.
good
Bye,
one, guys.
everybody. And
Bye.
thank you,
Bye.
audience,
Later,
for tuning in.
friends.
Thank
We'll
you
be
very
here
much.
next Thursday.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.